Abby, hello. Let's see if we can adjust this a little. Not quite. Let's see. All right, it's not perfect, but I think that'll work. Good evening. How's everybody doing today? I just wanted to come on here. I thought because I've talked about this wax-free transfer paper that I've used, I use it quite often actually. I just thought I would get on here and show you guys how to use it. If you've ever used graphite paper or carbon copy paper, it's the same concept, really. I am prepping for a paint party tomorrow, and I need to transfer this design to 11 canvases. And I thought, well, I'll just do a couple while I'm on here, and I can show you about this transfer paper. This is not my design. This is a design by Social Artworking. I licensed this for party use, and I probably overcomplicate my process a little bit because I'm good at that. I overcomplicate things, overthink. So the first thing I'm going to do, because this is, I consider this here to be my original, and I want to keep that in good condition. I don't want to have to destroy it, you know, and then print out another, and I had to tape it back together, not tape it back together. To get it to the right size, I had to print it out and then cut out the pieces and then assemble it, basically. So I don't really want to do that process again. It's not that big a deal, but I have a roll of like, I don't know, 50 or 100 yards of this paper that I bought for pattern making, for sewing. And I don't do a whole lot of that anymore, but it certainly comes in handy for this. So I just have it all to my 11 by 14 size. I'm going to go ahead and tape this in place so that I don't mess it all up. Not a huge deal if it shifts a little. It's, you know, be easy to get it back where I need it. But so this is where I'm saying I probably overcomplicate the process, because I just would rather keep that original in good condition. I do the extra step of tracing this. There's my pen marker. And then that way I can use the tracing paper, and, you know, if that gets destroyed, that's not that big a deal. I still have to do the work of of tracing it again. That was hilarious. I'm on a drafting table and I have it tilted, so my mount is like, it's not really liking this angle, and I just barely bumped it, and yeah, then it bumped me. I hope you all saw that and enjoyed it. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Anyhow, so I'm just gonna trace over this design, and I have done this with many of my own, not just paint party designs, but just pieces of artwork in general, because I want to. Hi, Fran. I'm glad someone was here for that. How are you doing? So yeah, when I'm working on my own stuff, I I like to sketch it out first and just kind of make sure I have my proportions, you know, correct or close to correct. So I will sketch it out, draw it out first, and then I how's the weather there? Son of a mother. I'm gonna have to fix that. Oh Lordy. I could adjust the table, but I feel like that will take too long. And I don't plan on being on here too long, maybe, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. But last time I said it would take maybe, what I say, 30 or 45 minutes. And I was on for just over an hour. This is a new mount. I'm not sure how it goes, so just bear with me for a minute. Rain, thunder, lightning, hot and humid. Goodness. That's a lot going on. Okay. Let me just put this here for a minute. By my feet. You like that? What a mess. Okay. Let's see if this will work. So this phone mount has a pretty good weight to it, but yeah, it just is not. Angle of the drafting table is not doing it. This is not going to work either. Oh my goodness. You guys, is this what you call a hot mess? I think this might be a hot mess. Let's try something else here. I'm just giggling at myself over here. So ridiculous. And then I've got another phone over here streaming to Instagram, and that one's fine. It's doing its thing. But if anybody's watching over there, they're probably wondering what in the world is going on. All right, that's not really working either. Okay. So let's try this. See how it works. I know it's not perfect, but that was too funny. No, I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, I was talking about the my personal art that is not for parties. I still will do this. And that's kind of just in case I mess up on my painting, you know, to the point where I'm just feel like it's beyond fixing, which I've never actually had that issue. Probably because I paint with acrylics typically. And you can usually let it dry and start over. So it hasn't been a big issue, but in the case where I might have to start completely over, I would still have my original drawing to go from. And honestly, this is a step that at a paint party, I could have all the painters do this. And then that would save me from having to do all that extra. But I feel like it's not a big deal. And And just why not just take that extra step? I always feel like painting is the fun part, right? And we want to get to that. So I just don't want to, 10 or 15 minutes of transferring their image. I've not painted this design before. This will be fun. When I'm finished with this, I'll show you what the canvas looks like. A little different than what we normally start out with. I haven't painted my sample yet, but I will do that. I'll paint that this evening as well. That way it's fresh in my mind and I have all the steps ready to lead everybody through them tomorrow. Heaven rain. Oh, maybe that's supposed to say heavy rain. Fran, it says heaven rain. So I thought you were telling me Florida is like heaven. Maybe that's what you were saying. Hot and humid. It was 34 degrees here this morning. Quite frosty. When I say this morning, I mean like 8 o'clock when I was taking my teenager to school. Okay, so I learn something new every time I do a live. Definitely just learned a little bit more about my new phone mount. Doesn't like to be at an angle. Oh yeah, 10 p.m. I do have a bit of work, but the good thing is I could have a little time tomorrow also if I do it early, but I think I'll get it all done tonight. Tracing these onto the canvases, a lot of times, honestly, I will do that sitting on the couch watching TV or listening. It's more like listening to TV. Your grandma used a special pencil to trace and ironed on her cloth. Yeah, I think I've seen those. Kind of the same concept. It gives you a map of what you're doing. I can't see your name. It just says Facebook user. Ellen, maybe, or my mom. Either way, good evening. Okay, whoops. That got a little crazy there. Almost done, and then I'll get a canvas out and just show you the transfer paper. Hi, Ellen. Oh, I smeared it all over. That's okay. How are you, Ellen? Okay, I've got that all traced. So I will put away my original. I need it again. It'll just be right here. And this is the canvas we are using. We are starting with black. I always enjoy painting on a black canvas. So I'm just going to go ahead and tape this on. I might need more tape, actually, longer tape. So another thing I did prepping for this party, I actually gessoed these black canvases. Oh, good. Am I not usually very loud and clear? Maybe not. Probably this time, because this right here, I'm using that microphone, so I'm right next to it. That's probably it. Okay, need to put that up a little bit. Hope I wasn't too muffly before. Okay, so this transfer paper, because I have a black canvas, I'm going to use my white paper. And you can probably see, oh, maybe not so much. I've already used this before. So this isn't, oh yeah, I usually do put it on a different setting. I try to make this, the camera showing the table, I try to make that bigger. And I make my picture small. And then I don't have to see, you know, I don't look up at my laptop camera and see myself as easily if my picture is smaller. So this transfer paper is not quite a one and done sort of thing. One and done, it's not what I mean. One-time use. You can get quite a few uses out of it before it's really, it just needs to be tossed. Like I use this one for a, I don't know if you can see that, kind of a little gnome. And then I have another piece here that I've used quite a bit, but I don't like to buy this paper too often. It can be kind of spendy. So I use it up as much as I can before getting another piece. And you can use small scraps of it. So this obviously is not the same size as my canvas. I don't need the same size. So I don't know if you'll be able to see, maybe not. See my fingers, and then can you see that? It's like I just rubbed the transfer paper and got the chalk on my finger. And this transfer paper, it comes in different colors. I think this brand does graphite paper too. Well, they do. It's right here on the box. White, blue, yellow, and red. I've never used the red, but I've used all three of these, the white, blue, and yellow. Have not used the graphite paper. Once I found this chalk transfer paper, it's my favorite. Unless, I guess it depends on what I'm doing. For this type of thing, I really like it. Graphite paper, super messy. If I was just doing one thing, that'd be different. But, you know, if I'm transferring an image 11 times or a dozen, however many, it gets messy. I gotta make sure I have the right side down. Yep. Okay, so that chalky side, which is usually brighter, goes down against the canvas. So I'm just gonna put that on there, and then I'm just gonna trace it with a pencil. And that also gets messy too, because of the graphite in the pencil. You know, if I'm putting my hand all over this thing, it will start to get a little messy. Oops. Sometimes the frame messes me up a little bit. So I do want to be a little careful of how much pressure I'm applying because of it being a stretched canvas. I've never, knock on wood, never poked through one, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. I have punctured them while setting up for paint parties, which is why you always bring more. And after a while, you know, you can kind of lose your spot. Kind of forget which areas you went over, but it's not really a big deal. First time around on a tracer is much easier because I can see where my pencil has been, but I've had 20-person parties that I've set up for, and by the end of the tracing, my tracer is pretty trashed. A lot of times I'll just have to stop and, whoops, make another one real quick. They don't always have this much going on. Sometimes you can just pull that up, and it does leave a little bit of chalk dust, you know, in places that you don't want it sometimes, but because it's chalk, it's super easy to clean up once you've painted your image and everything's all dry. You just take a wet paper towel. Sometimes if the chalk is really stubborn, I keep toothbrushes in my painting supplies, and I've taken a wet toothbrush and scrubbed off the chalk. But usually the wet paper towel will do it. Get that wet and then just rub those chalky areas, and that takes care of it. So I have had the yellow and blue can be kind of stubborn, especially if it is on wood, which I paint on wood pretty often with people. sometimes that can just really get kind of ground into the wood. So a toothbrush works better than a paper towel. Did I do that already? I seriously cannot wait for warmer weather. I keep small garage space into a studio. It'll be it'll be nice for it to be warm out here. The garage is pretty large. I meant my space that I have created to be my makeshift studio is kind of small. Which is fine. I don't mind that at all. So I'm probably getting some graphite on my hands on the side, which, oh, it's cleaned off mostly. I had gesso all over my hands for a while, so I'm not too worried about messy hands. This doesn't bother me too much. They wash off. So if you're here, still here, Fran, do you go to Florida for the winter or just visiting? Oh, darn it, this frame keeps messing me up. And it's not like I don't know it's there. I know it's there. I'm just not being careful. Almost done. So that first one always takes the longest because, like I said, I put in that extra step of using tracing paper. And it'll probably take me, I don't know, because there's all the flowers and stuff. I might have to spend about 5 minutes per canvas doing this tracing, stenciling, whatever you want to call it. But like I said, I feel like it's just a step that, are you kidding me? Look at that. You see what happened? I did not make sure that my chalky side was down. Now all my chalk in that area is on my tracing paper. Oh, you guys, I'm full of it tonight. Yep. Let's try that again. Yeah. So it might take me 5 minutes per canvas or longer if I have to go back over things. What a dork. Okay, we'll just start right in here. That was silly. And I almost always check too when I start tracing. Do I have that part? Whoops. Let me knock over the camera again. Sheesh, I'm not even drinking. What is going on? I've got my kombucha here. That's it. All right, let's check it out. Hey, there we go. So I am here to show you how to use transfer paper and also how not to use transfer. That was intentional. Let's go with that. I meant to do that. Yeah. That way you could see what happens when you don't check your setup before you start. I can't remember where I am. That's not completely covered there. Okay. I'll just go over all of those. All right, give me some kind of a little bit of double lines going on. That's okay. If I feel like it's too bad, I can take my eraser to it. And it actually does a pretty good job of cleaning up those little scuff marks. That way it's not confusing to anybody. All right, let's check that out. Okay, look at that. Got it right that time. Okay, so that was pretty much it. I just wanted to give you guys a little demo of how that works. Pretty simple. And now it will take me less time, you know, now that I have this tracer here. And now I've got one of my canvases done. So now I only have 10. But that was it. I will make sure to check that I have my paper on there properly so that I don't waste time. And yeah, this will be a fun one tomorrow. Let me show you what it looks like. Since I don't have my sample painted, I'll show you. Here. There's that light is not helping. Show over here. All right. So I'll be posting pictures in the next couple days of everybody's finished pieces. And thank you guys for getting on here. Yeah, it's a pretty quick, well, quick if you're paying attention. Pretty quick way to get it done. Quite handy. Yes, definitely, Fran. I'll post some pictures when it's all done. Okay. Thank you guys again for getting on here and watching the Hot Mess Express. Maybe we'll just call it that. And I hope you guys have a great evening. I will see you later.